Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, Bowden Eye and Associates, Brumos Automotive, and Coastal Spine and Pain Center.
Welcome into Armada Kickoff, where we're still basking in the glow of the 3-1 Armada victory over the Philadelphia Union of the MLS. We'll have plenty on the result and the night coming up.
We'll also hear from first goal scorer Fabricio Ortiz, the man of the match Jaime Castrillon, and the goalkeeper Miguel Gallardo, who enjoyed a terrific evening. And how about that crowd? A record-setting night for Jacksonville and the Armada.
So let's go to the highlights right here.
This was a highly anticipated match. Section 904 and the supporters are ready to go in early on. The Armada took advantage of a corner kick. First ever corner kick, and it was Bochi Hoyos finding Fabricio Ortiz. Just 7 minutes in, the Armada had a 1-0 lead over the Philadelphia Union. And that lead would be stretched when Keita was able to run out after a feed from goalkeeper Miguel Gallardo. Look at the footwork by Keita to put it in the back of the net. A 2-0 Jacksonville lead over a stunned MLS side, Philadelphia Union. The fans were loving it at Everbank Field. Nearly 14,000 on hand. Saw this team really come together and be able to celebrate this first evening of play. But Philadelphia would come back. They were able to pressure, but the Armada defense very stout. Jaime Castrillon, a beautiful setup. Keita, this one may have been a goal. It was not called a goal. But with goal line technology, who knows, it may have actually crossed the line. Keita had a number of chances throughout the course of the match, but the Armada still a 2-0 lead at this point. Then Shannon Williams able to set things up. He was able to get by the Armada defense and set up Andrew Wenger with the goal, and it made it a 2-1 match, and suddenly the Armada's lead a little more tenuous over this MLS side. But late in the first half, a penalty called in the box, Lucas Trejo, and watch this, just feathers it right past the goalkeeper for the goal. 3-1 at halftime, and that would be the way it would end. The Armada with an impressive victory over the Philadelphia Union, 3-1 in front of an NASL record preseason crowd of 13,932. Miguel Gallardo had an excellent performance as well in goal. Gallardo, the first ever member of the Armada, had saves like this. 8 saves in 9 attempts in his 57 minutes of work. More on him coming up in just a bit. But Gallardo certainly one of the guys who had the fans chanting his name in Section 904 out in full throat. Boy, what a night it was at Everbank Field with the Armada taking a 3-1 victory over Philadelphia.
All right, take a look at the final stats. You can see how efficient the Armada attack was. 6 shots on goal, 3 found the net. They won more corner kicks than the Union. And you see the 11 shots on goal for Philly. 9 of them came against Miguel Gallardo, who saved 8 shots in his 57 minutes of action.
This past weekend, the Armada set an NASL record for the preseason match. 13,934 fans packed the house at Everbank Field on Saturday night when the Armada took on Philadelphia Union of the MLS. And if you're still debating on whether or not to get your season tickets, just keep in mind that the next match is right around the corner. And the number of fans who poured into Everbank Field won't fit at Community First Park. The match is set for February 28th against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and tickets start at just $14 a match. 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com.
And boy, did the fans enjoy the evening. Here are some shots that you took at the match. Some of you got to meet some Armada VIPs like owner Mark Frisch and playmaking midfielder Marcos Flores. Section 904, the supporters group was out in full throat. What a night it was for Jacksonville. Our man of the match didn't get one of the goals. Instead, we chose midfielder Jaime Castrillon. He showed great poise, no surprise there. He's played on the national team of Colombia and was a leading goal scorer for the Colorado Rapids 3 years ago. Perhaps his most notable highlight was this header that set up Ochiko Keita for a near goal. He also took most of the corner kicks for the club.
Es un trabajo de equipo, la verdad que no muchas veces he tenido la oportunidad de hacer esto, pero el profe me da la confianza y quiero trabajar cada día para hacerlo mucho mejor. Anteriormente era uno de los primeros que estaba en el área para cabecear, ya que he tenido la oportunidad de hacer muchos goles de cabeza. Ahora me toca prácticamente participar en las jugadas de balón parado y contento con toda la responsabilidad, trabajando. Queremos, como le digo, marcar una historia a nivel nacional y vamos a trabajar para ello.
Castrillon also was effective defending, and he's ready to see the club take the next step.
Muy contento con el trabajo de cada uno de los muchachos que tomó el partido con toda la seriedad. Estamos jugando no contra cualquier equipo, es un equipo de la MLS que vino a jugar bien con todos sus jugadores y creo que demostramos que con trabajo vamos a estar para grandes cosas.
As we mentioned before, the Armada topped the Union 3-1 on Saturday night. Fabricio Ortiz scored the first goal ever in Armada history. It's not so common for a center back to score, let alone to have foreseen it happen.
Sí, la verdad que tuve la noche anterior en la concentración en el hotel un sueño perfecto y se hizo realidad el día siguiente. Con el primer gol del club, dar nacer al club, digamos. Emocionante en ese momento, no sabía para dónde ir. Los compañeros me agarraban la pelota. No, fue genial, un día espectacular para todos, para todo el equipo.
For the first ever signee for the club, the experience was a little bit different. Miguel Gallardo watched his club come together from scratch, and winning the first match has really set the pace for him and his team. Gallardo admits that he had to rely on faith that the right players would be brought in.
You know, I must admit in the beginning, the anxiety of knowing who's going to come in, what type of players that we're going to bring in, what caliber of player that we're going to, have over here was a little nerve-wracking, to be fair. But it's been a success so far. They've brought some excellent players with a lot of experience, young players that have a lot of desire to succeed, and I think that's going to be the key for us to have a successful season.
While most of the attention was paid to the Armada attack on Saturday night, Gallardo also did his part, facing 9 shots and saving 8. Many in spectacular fashion, including this one late in the first half.
Well, to be honest with you, in that play, I hesitated a little bit to come out because the ball was moving very fast, but I think I fixed my error by just holding and then just having a reaction say, just wait for him to take the shot, and I was lucky enough that I was able to deflect it wide.
In the system the Armada coaches have chosen, there is added pressure on the goalkeeper to play as an additional defender. It can be risky, but
if we get it down, I think it's going to be very exciting for the fans to watch. It leads to a lot of goals. And that's the most important thing, in the game. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's a show. So everybody that comes out to the stadium, we want them to have a good time and then come back the next game.
Coming up, we head to Bob's boot room. We'll get Bob Veal's take on the game. He said he saw 3 distinct stages in Saturday's contest. That's straight ahead. This is Armada Kickoff.
Pro soccer is back in Jax. Get your Armada season tickets now, with seats starting at just $10. Interest-free payment plans available.
Be sure to get your Armada season tickets now. It's a great time to do it. Interest-free monthly payment plan still applies. You'll get invitation to special events. And if you buy a 3-year season ticket, you'll get a personalized brick on the permanent Armada FC Stadium, and it's the best pricing around. Tickets from just $10 per match. Call 8442-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com. Let's spend a minute here on one of the NASL opponents the Armada will be facing this season, the Carolina Railhawks. Carolina is one of the charter members of the modern NASL. Last year, the Railhawks finished 4th in the spring, 5th in the fall, and missed out on playing in the championship by just 2 points. One more win, and they would have been in. They also enjoyed great success in the U.S. Open Cup, beating a pair of MLS sides, Chivas USA and the eventual MLS champion LA Galaxy, before being knocked out in the quarterfinals by FC Dallas. It was the 2nd straight season that the Railhawks advanced to the quarterfinals in the U.S. Open Cup. They were led by Zach Schalowski, who tied for 3rd in the league with 9 goals, but Schalowski retired now. He's actually going to law school at Chapel Hill, so there's some big questions about where the offense will come from this year for Carolina, who visit Community First Park in the spring on May 30th and in the fall on August 12th. The Armada visit Carolina October the 10th. Now let's see what Bob Veal saw in Saturday night's Armada victory as we head to the boot room, presented by Nike.
Thanks, Cole. Bob, what a match it was for the Armada this last Saturday. And I know you mentioned you saw the game in 3 phases. Take us through that.
Yeah, it was a super time to be there, and what a great result for Armada.
Absolutely.
So let's look at how they achieved that. And as we said earlier, they would start with the 4-3-3 midfield and the 3 players up front, and that's exactly how they started. And this means we were going to play high and we were going to attacking football. So let's just look at one phase of the game to see where we were in this 4-3-3. Now, early on, we got a couple of early goals. And so let's see where we were at that stage. And because there were different phases of the game, and the coaches obviously were thinking technically, when we're 2-0 up, we play a different way, when we're 2-1 up or 3-1 up. So let's just take a look at one of the, and this is a clip, pause there. So this is a clip where we've got our 3 front runners right here up in the box, making the plays. And right behind them, the 2 midfielders coming in to support them. So here at the moment, we've got nearly, 4, 5 players in and around the 18-yard box. 4 inside and 1 backing up. So we're playing high at this stage, and I think at that stage, we were 2-1 up there or 2-0 up.
2-1.
So that was making us play forward,
Now the
which
second
is what
phase.
we said we'd do. Second phase, remember we had to combat them playing 5 players in the midfield.
Yes.
So they put in 5 players in the
midfield.
midfield, so they stacked the midfield, which meant they were going to play a holding game, and the midfield would get very congested. And this was a little bit defensive, so you can drop back people quick. Now, their coach, after going 2-0 down, obviously rethought this and thought about, hey, this is a surprise. So let's look at the second clip. This is in the first half still. And so we're 2-1 down at this stage, and the ball goes out to the left-hand side, freeze, and look at this. We're 2-1 down. The ball's gone out to the left. We've frozen the picture there so you can see. What I like to point out here is the right defender, Sean Niccolo out there, in a perfect place, just moving towards the play. The second defender at the back there is where he should be, behind the player. Goal side of the players, And Lucas Trejo coming in from the right midfield. Look how many players we've got there. 8, 9, almost 9 in our third of the field. So we're playing a little bit deeper, protecting that lead.
Let's go through the third phase now.
Now the third phase. Let's cut into the third phase, if we might do, which was into the second half. Now the second half, we took on a whole new look. We started to play back a little bit. Some of our reserves come on. And here, at the moment, you'll see in a second when we freeze it there, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys from Armada in our 18-yard box. Now what we're doing is defending that 2-1, 3-1 lead at that stage. So we're defending that lead, and tactically, we've changed our formation a bit. We've almost gone to 4-4-2.
Well, Bob, it seems like they made all the right moves out on Saturday night.
Yes, the coaches will be very pleased the way they played and the way they changed up tactically, and the players did exactly what the coaches wanted.
All right. Well, thank you, Bob. Cole?
All right, thanks, guys. More perspective on the Armada victory over Philly and what it means for the future. That's next in our Analyst Roundtable. Stick around.
The Armada Social Rewards program is a great way to stay connected with the team via social media. Visit armadasocialrewards.com, create an account, and start earning free stuff. You can win things like jerseys, scarves, and even tickets to future matches. Just mention the Armada using your social media and earn tokens that eventually turn into prizes. Simple enough, right? Well, each week we will pick a random winner and prize. Just like last week, we are giving our lucky winner 2 tickets to the Fort Lauderdale Strikers match on February 28th. Congratulations, Craig Campbell, and thanks for keeping up with the Armada via social media. And now let's head over to the roundtable. Cole?
All right, thank you, Krissty. Time now for our Analyst Roundtable, joined by Andy Kidd and Mauricio Ruiz. Well, let's just talk about this amazing evening. 3-1 victory by the Armada over Philadelphia. What stood out most for you, Mauricio?
Well, I mean, outside of the fans, outside of the environment, I think the three forwards, I was not expecting them to have the chemistry that they showed, the movement off the ball, and really, I mean, the threat that Pascal, Jamel Johnson, and Keita, which obviously scored the goal, between the three of them, I mean, the triple threat that we get up there, that's really shocked me in a positive way, the fact that they were so effective so early in preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. They were very effective. And the fact that this early on in the season that we have a distinct style of play and the players are buying into what the coaches are saying. I mean, we're barely into the preseason here, and you can tell that we're trying to build the ball out of the back. We're trying to keep possession. You don't see guys taking a lot of touches on the ball. You don't see guys lumping the ball forward. We're trying to keep the ball all the way up, and the guys are buying in. Even the guys coming off the bench are coming in and trying to play that same style that the coaches are trying to implement.
Yeah, and they stuck to the style throughout the entire game. It's not like even when they had a fault, I mean, the goal that Union scored, it was to our fault of the way they were trying to play the game. But we stuck to that throughout, even as the new roster, kept coming in the second half. So that was positive.
Absolutely.
Andy, if you were an NASL coach and you saw that game and you heard that the Armada beat the Red Bulls 4-1 and that they played NYCFC tight in the scrimmage, what would you be thinking right now?
I'd be saying this isn't an expansion team. This is a team that's coming in and they're going to compete right away. I mean, this early in the season and they're this far along. They're beating MLS teams. They're competing with high-level teams. I'd say that I'd be a little nervous.
Yeah. I'd be on the phone trying to hire some new defenders. I think that's what I'd be doing. And with our attacking three and, with Flores still coming in and just us getting better and better synchronized as we go forward, I mean, we're going to be putting a lot of people under pressure. So I got to make sure the defenders in the league, not just owners, defenders in the league, they should be watching out for us.
Well, you mentioned Marcos Flores, former Australian A-League Player of the Year, didn't play against Philadelphia. We expect him to be in the lineup here. He started training this past week. How is he going to fit into this thing? I mean, you talked about the three forwards who are up. How are you going to work a guy of that quality? You got to get him in there somehow.
Well, and he was at the game, so I think he saw the competition level that's going to come in. I think all these guys, even the players are coming in, I don't think they really knew. I mean, you can hear the names, you can see what's happening, but once the players are on the field and the quality is actually there, so Flores on the sideline, I mean, I think there's an interview with him that Krissty did. He was just buzzing at the beam. So I think the most important thing, which you try to create as a team, is a competition within practice, right? So Flores, if he's coming in practice yesterday is the first time this week, I mean, he's got to be flying at all cylinders just to fit into this group.
Right. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, competition, the cream rises to the top, and so you bring in a Marcos Flores, it's only going to help the roster. It's only going to help the team. Nobody's out there, trying to, put a team on the field and, Guys all want to put a team on the field that's going to compete and do well. They want to see the team do well. They want to be part of a winner. They came from all over the world to be a part of a winner. And so wherever Flores fits in, I think the team is going to embrace it, and it's only going to make us better.
Andy, you've been to a lot of sporting events here in the city of Jacksonville growing up here, and as an athletic director at Episcopal High School. You saw the crowd at Everbank Field. Now the next match on the 28th against Fort Lauderdale at Community First Park. What's the environment going to be like with everybody packed in there?
It's going to be electric. It's going to be electric. I mean, it was great to have 14,000 fans there at Everbank, but then you put them all into a stadium that only carries maybe 11, maybe 10. I don't know what the capacity is at 8.
It might be closer to 8.
Yeah, so now you're talking about having the fans right on top of you at the field, packed to the brim. It's going to be electric. And for a player, you can't ask for anything more.
Yeah, I think our coaching staff has a good problem in hand. Too many good players, not enough positions, and I think our ownership and our president, they have an equal problem. How do you fit so many people into one small stadium? That's a good problem to have, which that means that it's going to be overflowing, especially for the first game in that community. It's intimate, it's small, there's access to the players by being able to reach out, and you saw the players going back into the fans this week, and I think that was fantastic. They make sure that they went back after the game and they applauded their support there. So at Community First Bank, I mean, it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, you've got both sides. You've got the fans giving it up for the players, and the players giving it up for the fans. It's a perfect scenario. Mauricio Ruiz, Andy Kidd, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Still to come on Armada Kickoff, the Armada add more local players to the roster and the best way for you to pick out your seat for the exciting Armada season. Don't go anywhere. There's more of Armada Kickoff straight ahead. If you aren't ready to fully commit to the entire Armada season, but you don't want to miss out on these great games in the spring, well, maybe you need to check out the Armada Spring Season Half Pack. Now on sale from just $12 per match. It includes the February 28th preseason match against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. That's at Community First Park at the baseball grounds. And then all of the spring NASL fixtures. Call 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com. For those of you who attended Saturday's match at Everbank Field, you may have noticed there were a lot of people there. And here's the deal. Community First Park at the baseball grounds can't fit everyone in, so the best way to guarantee your seats is to purchase season tickets. Saturday from 10 until 1 at Community First Park. You can check out your seating options. You can see what the view will be to ensure that you don't have any reason to miss out on anything with the Armada this year. Plus, if you purchase a season ticket Saturday, you'll get this Armada t-shirt showing that you have been on board since the beginning. The Armada added 4 new players to the roster, including a pair of locals, former JU Dolphins Remy Safi and Tyler Williams, who have been in camp as trialists. They were signed. So too was goalkeeper Sebastian Evers, who played at UCF, and Nico Perea, who grew up in Hollywood, Florida. As we leave you here, one more look at that historic 3-1 Armada victory over Philadelphia last Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Cole Pepper.
I'm Krissty Andaur. We'll see you guys next week.
Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, Bowden Eye & Associates, Brumos Automotive, and Coastal Spine and Pain Center.